All right, I'm gonna talk now about why the world exists. Why are you here? What is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of the world's existence? Okay, so how are we going to even approach trying to understand this? Well, if we look at our experience, if we look at different peak experiences, we see, like if we look at the mind-expanding feeling when you are contemplating abstract ideas, things at a distance, grand landscapes, awe-inspiring concepts, God, infinity, whatever. Mind-expanding feeling when you suddenly understand and everything is clear and there's this stability to the ideas and there's such joy, such fulfillment coming from that expansion of the mind to encompass everything. And then so I'm going to go through a bunch of dominant positive feelings here, and then I'm going to explain why. So then there's also the energy flowing feeling. There's that feeling of energy flowing through the body when you're near people you like or love, and people who care about you. And there's that feeling of I'm significant, I'm unique, I'm valuable for who I am, I'm cared about for who I am, and there's that energy flowing through the body. And then there's the instinctual feeling of presence. There's that feeling of I'm so present here now in my body. Like if you're giving a speech or someone mentions your name in a class or at work or something, and you feel like you're there. Your existence is recognized. Your existence matters. Your existence is positive and good. And you're having a good impact on the world. And there's that tingling feeling of presence. Then there's also the intensity in a conversation. When you're having a great conversation and there's just you and that other person, the conversation that you're having. And it's almost like barriers break down, like the walls don't seem as solid anymore and everything sort of seems to glow. And then there's the feeling like you're part of a group. There's that social dominant positive feeling. There's being part of something larger than yourself. You're dancing with a bunch of people and you feel like a cog in the works. You feel like you're just part of this larger organism. And there's that feeling, that feeling of the self-preservation feeling of gaining your energy from the environment, of like the whole world is comfortable and you're in control of your environment and your world, and there's peace and there's harmony in your environment, in your world, and it's good. It's exactly as it should be. It's perfect. And it's just so comfortable. It's like your shoes become slippers and the air is soft and it's the perfect temperature and you have all the time in the world. Time seems endless. Okay, so there are these 6 dominant positive feelings I've just mentioned. There is a whole spectrum of these feelings. There's a negative version, a corrupted version. I talk about them in my book, An Experiential Understanding of How All That Is Came to Be. But looking at these dominant positive feelings, what can we learn about these things? What can we learn about the purpose of existence from these things? Well, as part of all those feelings, think about the experience of those feelings. As part of all those feelings, there's this aspect, this idea, this feeling of, this experience of, others should be able to experience this. Others should be able to experience this amazing experience that I have right now. And in all those experiences, there's, intense mindfulness, intensely being present in the moment. And you're so there, and you're overflowing with the feeling. It's flowing through you, and you let it keep flowing when you're experiencing them as dominant positive versions. Ultimately, the reason that we end up with corrupted versions and negative versions is because we hold on to those experiences. When we hold on to those experiences or to anything else, when we hold on to a thought or a feeling or an instinct or something in our world, when we hold on and we replay, then we prevent ourselves from experiencing these things in their true forms, because we're like a bottle that's filled with water and threatening to burst as a hose is hooked up to it. But when we're experiencing these feelings, it's like these experiences, it's like being hooked up to a hose, being a bottle hooked up to a hose, and you're also hooked up to other bottles. And so the water flows through you and it just keeps flowing out of you. And so a beautiful sunset that might bring about the mind expanding feeling, or the energy flowing feeling, or even the self-preservation feeling of your environment being comfortable, just keeps being magnificent, because you're still there, you're still present. You don't wander off in your experience of the experience, and your thoughts about the experience, and your feelings about the experience, or what it could be that it isn't now, or the fact that it's going to end. You're just here, and you're accepting it, and you're experiencing it, and you're fully taking it all in and letting it flow through you. So that's when you bring out about these positive experiences. We create stress by holding on to things. We create these positive experiences by letting things go and creating more of them. And so part of those experiences, like I said, is others should be able to experience this. And there's this overflowing nature to all of those experiences. This overflowing wanting to, like almost wanting, but it's not a want, it's like an inclination to share this experience with others. That is why the world exists. All those experiences are just hints of the experience that gives rise to the world at every moment. All of those experiences are defined versions in thoughts and feelings and instincts in our experience in this world of an experience that transcends thought and feeling and instinct, an experience of just being self-aware existence, of being so aware of your own existence and overflowing with that experience, that grand experience that encompasses all of those things, and yet none of them, because it's not any of those things. All those things are just definitions of it. All those things are just the colors that result when that experience is that white light experience is divided through the prism. And in fact, it's not even the white light. It's beyond the white light. It's the source of the light that is the source of reality. And so we can only begin to go in the direction of fathoming what gave rise to the world, but all these experiences get us closer to experiencing that. And that is why we're here, because if that's what gave rise to the world, others should be able to experience this. Then when we experience those feelings, we are fulfilling our purpose. We're on the right track, because our track is toward a greater experience of those feelings. Those feelings are all part of being completely present and aware of our control over our lives and the world, of our ability to choose everything that manifests in our lives. We are completely in control, and the world is the creation of our choice, of our thoughts, our feelings, our instincts, our speech, our actions. The world of our experience is the creation of those things, and we choose those things. And all of that begins with that thought. The whole world began with the first thought. Others should be able to experience this. First, there was the creation of choice to be able to create the world, which is inconceivable to us. The creation of choice. How do you choose to create choice? You end up with the same kind of problem as how does time begin if time is a measure of change? What change occurs that allows the measure of change to exist? But anyway, we have this idea, this creation of choice, and then from that choice, the beginning of the manifestation of that experience, because before that it's completely inconceivable. And then there's the thought that experience gives rise to. Others should be able to experience this. And that is why you and I are here. That is why the world came to be. That is what guides the course of all existence. Because all of existence, the progression of the universe, the development of atoms and molecules and all matter and energy and galaxies and planetary systems like our solar system, with planets like our Earth, with life evolving from single-celled organisms all the way up to us. It's the progression towards self-awareness, the progression toward the awareness of the ability to create our lives, the increasing ability to use tools to create the world, but then beyond that, with us, we don't just use physical tools. We human beings who don't have natural defense organisms like other animals, like claws and teeth and armor, we have the capacity to change the experiences that we face to create our lives with the thoughts that we think, and not just the physical actions in which we engage. And so it's this progression toward increasing awareness of the capacity to shape the world. And then how we shape it is up to us. It always is up to us. It always has been up to us, because we are manifestations of the essence of the world, that choice, that capacity to choose to change our lives and to choose to determine how our experiences will manifest themselves. And so we can create more of those great experiences. And when we're not experiencing great experiences, think about that. If the purpose of life, if the purpose of existence, if the reason the world exists is because of that experience, others should be able to experience this. That thought, that idea is part of that experience. How inaccurate is most of our usual daily life in terms of its experience, in terms of receiving that experience in its true form. When we learn to relate to others, we start to begin to understand how we relate and to become aware of how we relate to the source of the world. It is the interaction with the other that allows the conception of the ultimate other, the source of everything. And so then we can begin to relate to our world and to the source of that world in a way that allows us to experience reality in its truest form. And so again, when we don't hold on to things, when we let things go, when we create more of that experience in our lives, of those experiences in our lives, those positive, those dominant positive experiences, those intense, amazing, mindful experiences, that is when we are on the right path. We know we're on the right path. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing here. We're fulfilling our purpose in existence, the purpose in existence, the purpose of all of existence. And we are truly, intensely connecting in each moment, at those points in time, in each moment, with the source of the world. So I just wanted to share that with you, and I wish you many more fantastic experiences of the world and the fulfillment of existence's purpose.